स्टार्ट सर।
नमस्कार। IIMT ग्रुप ऑफ कॉलेज की तरफ से मैं अमित शर्मा अपने इस खास कार्यक्रम इंद्रधनुष में एक बार फिर आपका स्वागत कर रहा हूं। जैसा कि आप सबको पता है कि हम हर रोज अपना ये खास कार्यक्रम इंद्रधनुष लेकर के आ रहे हैं आपके लिए। इस कोरोना काल में, जब ये जो संक्रमण काल है, इस वक्त जब ज्यादातर लोग घरों में हैं और जो फेस टू फेस कम्युनिकेशन है वो काफी हद तक रुका हुआ है, तो इस दौर में हमारी ये कोशिश है कि जो विभिन्न संवाद है, विभिन्न परिचर्चाएं हैं, हम उन्हें ऑनलाइन आयोजित कर सकें। और इस क्रम में आज हम आपके बीच हैं। आज जो हमारा सेगमेंट है वो है लेट्स मीट लीडर्स, और आज हमारे मेहमान हैं, बहुत ही सम्मानित अतिथि हमारे साथ हैं राज्यसभा MP श्री KJ अल्फोंस जी। श्री KJ अल्फोंस जी, नमस्कार। आपका बहुत बहुत
नमस्कार।
KJ अल्फोंस जी इस वक्त राज्यसभा MP हैं, राजस्थान से नॉमिनेटेड हुए हैं और एक्स यूनियन मिनिस्टर ऑफ स्टेट भी रह चुके हैं, पॉलिटिशियन हैं, इसके अलावा एडवोकेट भी रहे हैं और इंडियन एडमिनिस्ट्रेटिव सर्विस IAS भी ये रह चुके हैं। एक खास बात मैं बताना चाहूंगा अल्फोंस जी के बारे में। हम सभी बचपन से ये पढ़ते आए हैं कि जो भारत का पहला शिक्षित राज्य है वो केरल है। ये जनरल नॉलेज की किताबों में सबने पढ़ा है। मगर जो केरल जो है उसमें जो पहली डिस्ट्रिक्ट जिसको 100% लिटरेट घोषित किया गया था वो थी कोट्टयम। ये 1989 की बात है जब कोट्टयम सिटी को 100% लिटरेट घोषित किया गया था, और उसके बाद 1990 में कोट्टयम डिस्ट्रिक्ट को 100% लिटरेट घोषित किया गया था। भारत में पहली बार ये हुआ था। और उस वक्त कोट्टयम डिस्ट्रिक्ट के जो डिस्ट्रिक्ट कलेक्टर थे वो अल्फोंस जी थे। तो इस तरह अगर कहें कि जो शिक्षा का जो अलख जगाने वाले जो लोग हैं भारत में, उसमें श्री KJ अल्फोंस जी का नाम आता है। इसके साथ ही आज हमारे साथ हैं श्री मयंक अग्रवाल जी। सर, बहुत बहुत स्वागत है आपका। जी
धन्यवाद
जी। मयंक अग्रवाल जी हमारा जो IIMT ग्रुप ऑफ कॉलेज है उसके MD हैं और शिक्षा के क्षेत्र में काफी अच्छा काम कर रहे हैं। IIMT ग्रुप ऑफ कॉलेज की जो नई ऊंचाइयां हर रोज जो ये संस्थान छू रहा है, ये उसका जो पूरा का पूरा श्रेय है वो श्री मयंक अग्रवाल जी को ही जाता है। कई सारे काम किए गए हैं पिछले 25-26 वर्षों में। IIMT ग्रुप ऑफ कॉलेज ने पूरे उत्तर भारत में अपनी एक नई पहचान बनाई है। शिक्षा के क्षेत्र में आज काफी प्रतिष्ठित नाम है। IIMT ग्रुप ऑफ कॉलेज के पास को NAAC से एक्रेडिटेशन है, NBS एक्रेडिटेशन है, और जो NIRF रैंकिंग है, भारत सरकार जो रैंकिंग देती है, भारत सरकार का की जो HRD मिनिस्ट्री, उसकी रैंकिंग भी मिली हुई है। तो ये सारा श्रेय जो है श्री मयंक अग्रवाल जी को ही जाता है। मयंक अग्रवाल जी को के कार्यों को देखते हुए भारत सरकार का जो HRD में भारत सरकार का जो मानव संसाधन मंत्रालय है, HRD मिनिस्ट्री, उसने श्री मयंक अग्रवाल जी को एजुकेशनिस्ट ऑफ द ईयर का पुरस्कार भी दिया है, अवार्ड भी दिया है। और एक खास बात मैं बताना चाहूंगा मयंक अग्रवाल जी के बारे में कि जो एक सौम्य सी मुस्कान आप इनके चेहरे पर देख रहे हैं, ये हमेशा ही इनके साथ रहती है, इनके व्यक्तित्व का हिस्सा है। और जितने समय जब भी हम लोग मिलते हैं इनसे, तो ये जो हल्की सी सौम्य सी मुस्कुराहट है इनके साथ रहती है। वह कितना भी विचलित करने वाला समय क्यों नहीं हो, हम लोगों ने हमेशा इनको इसी तरह शांत और मुस्कुराते हुए देखा है। तो ये एक प्रेरणा रहते हैं पूरे के पूरे ग्रुप के लिए। और इस साथ में हमारे इस प्रोग्राम में है डॉक्टर संजू के जेम्स जी। डॉक्टर संजू के जेम्स जी डायरेक्टर हैं IIMT बिजनेस स्कूल के, और अपने क्षेत्र में काफी लंबा अनुभव है, छात्रों के लिए प्रेरणा बनकर के हमारे बीच आए हुए हैं। तो आज जो हमारे ये खास कार्यक्रम है, मैं अब डॉक्टर संजू जेम्स जी को आमंत्रित कर रहा हूँ कि वो इस कार्यक्रम को आगे बढ़ाएं। जी।
थैंक यू अमित जी। A very good morning to one and all. Respected chief guest of the day, Sri Alphons MP, respected managing director of the IIMT group, Sri Mayank Agrawal ji, dear fellow directors, deans, HODs, faculty members, my dear students, and the viewers across the world. It is my pleasure to introduce our chief guest of the day, Sri Alphons MP, a great personality who is ready to take any challenges in his social life as well as in his personal life too. I met him first when he was the district collector of Kottayam in Kerala. And I was a student at SB College, Chaganasheri in Kerala. During that time, I took an initiative to establish a public library in my home village called Ittithanam, in the name of the great writer for common man, Muttattu Varki. Once a new building of the library was ready for inauguration, it was the decision of the committee to invite the hero of the Kottayam district, the young district collector, Sri Alphons Kannanthanam, to inaugurate the new library. It was a great celebration in my village, as it was the first time a person at the stature of the district collector has visited that village. Thank you, Alphons ji. After 25 years too, I took the charge of the library again as its president and taken an initiative to construct the Silver Jubilee building of the library with the support of the government of Kerala. Even at that time too, we approached Sri Alphons Kannanthanam. But at that time, he was the Union Minister of State, Government of India, in the ministry of Sri Narendra Modi ji. But at that time, he could not come due to his busy schedule as the Union Minister. And the new building was inaugurated by another legend of Kerala, Sri Kumaran Thambi, in the presence of the MPs, MLAs, and the great writers in Kerala. So when I approached Alphons ji to be a part of the Meet the Leaders program of IIMT group, he happily accepted my invitation, and he is with us since 11-15 onwards. Now it is a time to introduce him in detail. Sri Alphons or Sri Alphons Kannanthanam ji is an Indian civil servant, advocate, and politician from Kerala. He was the Union Minister of State in the Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology and Minister of State, independent charge of the Ministry of Tourism from September 2017 to May 2019 under the BJP government of Sri Narendra Modi ji. He is currently serving as a Rajya Sabha MP from Rajasthan. Sri Alphons Kannanthanam belongs to the 1979 batch of the Indian Administrative Service, IAS. He served as Commissioner of the Delhi Development Authority. Sri Alphons was one of the toppers in civil service examination. As a district collector, Kottayam became the first 100% literate town in India, and he started mass contact program, which later won an award from the United Nations. And as the Commissioner of Delhi Development Authority, DDA, he took an initiative to demolish 14,310 illegal encroachments, earning him the name of Demolition Man. As a Secretary of Higher Education in Kerala, he was instrumental in setting up private professional colleges in Kerala. Sri Alphons Kannanthanam was in Time magazine's list of 100 young global leaders in 1994, and he has authored the best-selling book titled Making a Difference, published by Penguin India in 1996. Welcome, Alphons ji.
Thank you.
So it is my pleasure to invite our MD sir, Shri Mayank Agrawal ji, to formally welcome our chief guest. Mayank sir.
Thank you, Dr. James. Thank you so much. Good morning to all. I would like to welcome Shri Alphons ji in today's program. 7 days, 7 guests. The program name called Indradhanush. Today we are really fortunate enough to have Shri Alphons ji with us. In today's vertical, let's meet leaders. I suppose a leader is one who inspires us, who guide us, who motivate us. And Alphons ji, with such a motivating journey from an IAS officer, an advocate, and to a successful politician, is definitely going to inspire the youth of IIMT, the youth of our country. As we all know that Alphons ji was amongst the top 100 leaders by Times Magazine, which is really a wonderful achievement, and was also a minister under Shri Narendra Modi ji's government. I once again, on behalf of IIMT Group of Colleges, would like to welcome Shri Alphons ji, and with the hope and expectation that the session what we have today will definitely motivate the students of IIMT and will give new ideas and new avenues for the students. Welcome to you, sir. Welcome to IIMT program.
Thank you. Thank you.
So over to Alphons ji to proceed with your lecture.
Well, I'm very happy to be here. Good morning to everybody. And good morning, Mayank Agrawal, Dr. James, Mr. Amit Sharma, members of the faculty, and my dear young people. So have a wonderful Sunday. So just relax. You must be expecting a lot of advice from me. Sorry, I don't advise anybody. I have 2 sons and my daughters-in-law. I don't advise anybody. I never advise them. And forget about advising one's own wife. That never works anyway. And therefore, I don't give advices to people. I've spoken to something like 3.5 million people. Most of them are young people, mostly in colleges, universities, from Harvard University right down to the village schools, because I don't advise. And I talk about my experiences. So if there is something which you can learn from my experiences, I think that's good. And thank you, Dr. James, for the very kind words which you have mentioned. Well, let me tell you something which he hasn't mentioned. I was one of the IAS toppers. I was in Time Magazine's cover story, 100 young global leaders. I won the best collector award for 3 years. I won the best MLA. In between, I was also an MLA after resigning from the IAS. I won the best MLA award. And I don't know whether I would win the award for the best minister. That's something which history will tell. But I guess I make some of the best speeches in the parliament. If you go to YouTube, you would see my speeches in parliament. You can see them. But let me go back. When I did my 10th board examinations in 1968, before that, when I filed my application, the principal said, "You please come with your father." So when I went with my father, because I studied in a non-electrified village, I studied under the kerosene lamp. My father was a school teacher with 9 children. You would be shocked. But the shock doesn't end there. My parents adopted 2 more from the orphanage, and we became 11 children. So that was, I think that was crazy. So when I went to write the exam, he said, principal said, "Come with your father." When I went with my father, he said, "This kid is never going to pass the 10th board examinations. So let him repeat 1 more year." I said, "I can't." I was a tiny little kid. I was just 14 and a half. But I said, "No, I can't, because I have girls in my class and I can't be a repeater." So anyway, somehow I managed to sneak in my application form through the clerk who was dealing with the application forms in the school. So Mayank, there are ways to shortcut your system. Even though you are the managing director, there are ways of shortcutting the system and getting across your work done through other sources. So I went to the clerk and managed to sneak in my application form. And And when the results came, I had the biggest shock of my life, and also my family. I passed. So massive celebrations in my house. And you know how much I got in my 10 board examinations? 42%. I repeat again, 42%. In a Malayalam medium school, rural village, non-electrified village, and that's where the journey starts. I taught myself English, and then when I was in college, I asked myself, what is it that I want to do? And I said, I'm here for two things. One is I want to be happy. And secondly, I want to make the world happier. I said, I want to make a difference with my life. I said, it's not a prime minister. It's not a chief minister. It's not the MP, the ministers, MLAs, Panchayat president who should make a difference. I said, I will make a difference. I said two things. I'm intelligent. I said, I have abilities. God has not created some people right from the heavens and sent down here and said, this kid is a genius and this kid is an idiot. I said, I have the intelligence and the ability. Well, I taught myself English, and I said, to make this biggest difference in the world, in the country, what is a job that I should pick up? I said, IAS is the best job. You know, everybody knows a district collector, but then of course, throughout your life, from being a sub-collector, subdivisional magistrate, to being a district collector, district magistrate, to being secretary to government of India, to the state, and also to become cabinet secretary, all your life, 40 years, you can make incredible difference. That's the most powerful job, because that power gives you the power to bring happiness into the lives of people. To me, that is power. It is not a police salute. It is the power to bring happiness to the poorest people out there who cannot survive in this cruel world, who don't have food, don't have a job, don't have a house. It's those people, I said, I want to bring happiness into their faces. So I prepared, I read a lot. I studied only for 9 months for the IAS examination. I'm an economist. And see, when you decide to do something, now this is where you have to be just hugely decided, hugely determined. Don't say, I will try the entrance examination and see, I will try the IAS examination and see, I will try the CA examination and see, I will try the MBA examination. Sorry, no, you will not succeed. For you to succeed, you have to say, sorry, I am getting into this. I'm just not going to try. I'm just not going to try to write the examination, trying to get it. No. And then, of course, those who keep trying like this, they will say, no, I'll try to get married. I'll try to have a kid. You know, I'll try for a job. Sorry, you will not succeed. You have to decide what you want. And that decision, to me, must depend on what you really want to do. You know, why are you here in this world? How many of you have asked yourself this question? Is it to have the latest phone, latest computers, you know, the best pictures on your Facebook, Instagram, where you have 1 million people? There first I was reading in the newspaper, some guy, Indian guy, he's got a chicken man. He has 60 million followers on TikTok, and he's called a chicken man. You know what? Why? Because he eats chicken. How ridiculous. Is it what you want to be? Or you want to put yourself with a nice hairstyle, and then, you know, you want 1 million followers out there. You want to make a joker of yourself. Is it what you want to be? Or you want to make a substantial difference in the lives of people? So that's why I said I want to be in the IAS. I studied for 9 months. Now again, since you are students, my dear kids, once you decide to do something, follow that. How do you follow that? A timetable. Without a timetable, you will not succeed as a student, as an IAS officer, anything. I mean, Mayank knows it better. James knows it better. Mr. Amitabh Sharma knows it better. You want to succeed, you got to have a timetable. Now, this is what I specialize. I had 9 months to study the IAS. I said I will study for 6 months and I will revise for 3 months. And I don't study more than 8 hours. But my timetable was from the time I wake up, this time I wake up, X, how many minutes for brushing my teeth, how many minutes for my morning coffee. I jog every day for past 40 years. How many minutes for my jogging, how much for bathing, how much for reading newspapers, and then I will study for 8 hours. I don't study any subject more than 2 hours. Then I take a 15 minutes break. And then when I study, remember kids, how do you study? Your mobile phone is out there, possibly your television now is out there, your laptop is out there, you're sending a message to your boyfriend and your girlfriend, you're waiting for desperately for that reply. In between, you also look at your textbook. Sorry. You will not succeed. You will fail. When you study, keep all these gadgets away. That time is for what you want to do, because there are 24 hours. You only study for 8 hours. The rest of the time, you have plenty of time. Even when I was studying IAS exams, so my schedule was 11 to, let's say I start studying at 9 o'clock, 9 to 11 o'clock, I would write sociology. Sorry, it doesn't end at that. I would say sociology, I would say chapter 1 to 3. Then 11 to 11:15 break. Then I would say 11:15 to 1:15 history, chapter, let's say 7 to 9. So I'm very clear on this. And then how do I study? No gadgets, no telephones, nothing. I study, I read it, then I write short notes. Sorry, many of you write notes, but what is your note? Your note is, if your text in the textbook is 1 page, your note is 3 pages. Sorry, that is not a note. Your note should be just 1 word. For that one whole idea, there must be just 1 word, and that 1 word must make you recollect the entire thing that is in this 1 page. So by the time I finish studying, I would possibly have just 1 plain page with 10 points. And then when I finish studying, what I do, I close my eyes, I try to recollect this 10 points. I'll miss out something, I open my eyes again, and then I will look at it, okay, which point I missed, and I will now close my eyes again, recollect. Now, my dear kids, when the examination comes, it is this page which comes before me. And mind you, I don't jump points. Whatever is point number 1 in my note is point number 1 in my answer sheet. You understand? It's so simple. When I revise, I don't look at my textbooks. I look at only this note. And my revision again, timetable. Okay, 9 to 11 o'clock, chapter 1 to 7, because you have to go much faster. And then this is how you study determination. Then I would go to a movie, I would meet my friends, I would listen to music. Everything was in my timetable. Nothing was not in my timetable. Meeting friends, hanging out with my friends would be, let's say, 5 to 6 o'clock. That is in my timetable. Listening to music, 6 to 6:30. That would be in my timetable. Okay. Watching television. If it is want to watch television, you must. This would be in my timetable. You want to talk to your friends on mobile because you need to. Yes. That's in your timetable. Say, tell your friends, I'm available. I'll be calling you between 9 to 9:30. Don't disturb me otherwise. Okay? All right. This is how I studied. And when the results came, simple. I topped the examination in the written examination. In the interview, I didn't do very well because I spoke all against the government policies. Now, when you go for an interview, don't do that. You can still criticize and say, there is an opinion like this. You can put it in such a way that doesn't appear as your view, but I criticized the government flat, and therefore I got only 50% in my interview, and so I came only 8th finally in the IAS examinations. When I went to the Missouri Academy, where the IAS Academy is located, I said, I am going to make a difference. For most people, when they reach a Missouri Academy, their dream is fulfilled. I've got power. I'm in a powerful position. Now I'll have gunmen. I'll have a car with a lal bati. Everybody will salute me. Yes, I'm a big man. I said, sorry, I'm here. This is just the beginning. I'm here for the poor man, to listen to him and do his work. Okay, simple. So, my dear kids, I'm different. I don't follow rules. When I say I don't follow rules, it doesn't mean I break traffic rules. In 40 years, I had never jumped a red light, never break a traffic rule. But when people say this is the way to do it, I say, sorry, no. I have my own ways of doing it. Like as a district collector, I was out in the villages most often. I was with the people. You know, Mr. James talked about an idea which won a UN award, mass contact program. You know where the idea came from? One day an 80-year-old lady came to me and she said, where were you? This is my 3rd trip to see the collector. I can't come alone. I have to catch 3 buses and I need somebody to help me. I have to call my neighbor girl to assist me. And when I came here twice, you are not here. Where were you? I said, sir, I must have gone out apologetically. Then the punchline, like in the movie, she says, government is giving you a car. Why can't you come and see me in my village? What would the Meerut collector, Meerut DM respond to this lady? Possibly call the security people and throw her out, isn't it? Yes or no? You know, I smiled at her and I said, let me see. So that evening, I discussed in my dining table with my wife. I said, this 80-year-old lady, possibly who is maybe illiterate, came to me and said this. And I said, sounds like a good idea. So you know what I did? I said, I'm coming to your panchayat. I said, now give me petitions, whatever you want to. In fact, I take 2 panchayats together and go to a school with at least 50 rooms. And I said, file petition regarding anything that you have against the government. I used to get something like 5,000 petitions. We take 15 days to examine these, and then we go to the panchayat. And all these people come there and we dispose of 5,000 petitions. I did this across in all the panchayats in my district twice. Look at that. Where do ideas come from? Do we people who believe we are the intellectuals, the powerful people, do we have all the ideas? No. Listen to people. Maybe illiterate people. They have ideas. If we are willing to listen, ideas. Literacy movement. In fact, the idea came from the NSS unit of the university, the NSS. They came with the idea, sir, why don't we do this? I said, okay, I'll coordinate. That's how it happened. So and we had 14,000 volunteers who worked with us to make Kottayam 100%. We made it into such a fashionable topic. From being a completely non-fashionable topic of teaching poor people in the slums, it became such a fashionable topic that in Kottayam, not to be a volunteer was a shame. See, we converted that way. We constructed a hospital in the medical college with contribution from 82 lakh people, not 82 lakh rupees. 82 lakh people contributed. We made this into mass movements. When I came to Delhi, people started Commission of Delhi Development Authority. People said, you can't do anything. This is ruled by the mafia. I said, okay, we had more than 100,000, 1 lakh acres owned by the DDA. And we did a survey and we found that almost 10% of the land is encroached by encroachers. And who are these encroachers? The most politically powerful people. And who was number one in the list? The man who burned alive 6,006 in 1984 after Indira Gandhi's assassination. I don't want to mention his name. He was president of the Congress party. He was a union minister earlier. I said, he's my target. My entire workers in the DDA had 36,000 employees working with me. They said, sir, don't touch him because you will be dead tomorrow evening. He'll burn you alive. I said, sorry, no. If you catch a criminal, catch the biggest guy first, not the guy who is a pickpocket, picking up 10 rupees because he wants to survive. He's hungry. Catch the biggest guy first. So we went. You know what was the size of the encroachment? 2 lakh square feet, one building. So now, next thing, my dear kids, when you decide to do something, don't just jump into it. Think, prepare, think, then write down the points. What is required to demolish a building which is 2 lakh square feet? And he's a very powerful political leader. He's a gunda. He's a mafia. So 10,000 policemen on trucks with guns, 25 bulldozers in front of that. And in front of that, me and my dog in an open jeep, me, not like this, my Stetson hat, in a cowboy boots I have a gun, small little gun on my lap. And we land up in Model Town at 5:30 in the morning. And people thought that Pakistan had invaded India. We said, don't you worry. This is India. Over the next 36 hours, we demolished this 2 lakh square feet building into dust. And next day, of course, the news comes in all the newspapers, the demolition man comes to Delhi, and that name has stuck. Over the next 5 years, you know how many buildings we demolished? I don't demolish slums because where will poor people go? We demolished 14,310 illegal mansions in Delhi. Of course, my wife was beaten up, almost left for dead. She survives. My kids were beaten up. They went to school under police protection. I was always under police protection. We survived. So, my dear kids, if you think you're a human being, what is the most important thing that God has given you? Most important equipment in your body. It's not your heart. It's not your back. It's not your brain. It's your backbone. And what does backbone means? The courage to stand up for what you believe. Number one, you have to believe in something. Do you guys believe in anything? Or you just believe in Instagram photographs and TikTok, you know, those lousy jokes? Or do you believe in something which will make a difference to humanity, number one? Or are you just bothered about X, Y, Z, what do you call theorems which you learn in your economics class and the formula you learn in your chemistry classes? Or that Mughals did something and this is what the golden age of India was? My dear kids, do you take a decision? Because only if you have a decision would you have to stand up, isn't it? Oh, this is what my friend thinks. This is what my teacher says. This is what they say. This is what is done on TikTok or on Instagram, and therefore I do that. Do you have the courage to stand up and say, sorry, this is right. This is good for the country. This is good for the neighborhood. Do you have the courage to stand up for the country? If you don't, go, quit, man. Go jump into a lake. Sorry, I'm not suggesting anything. Come on, stand up like a man. Have a backbone. Take a stand as a student, as a youngster. Don't say my time will come. Sorry, your time will never come. If you don't stand up as a kid, as a college student, because I know I'm addressing mostly college students. If you don't stand up when you are a teenager, you will never stand up. Never. You will not. So my DDA day is gone, and I go back to Kerala. I was the Higher Education Secretary of Kerala. I was the Principal Secretary Higher Education. I was Commissioner for Entrance Examination. Then one fine day, and again, as Commissioner for Entrance Examination, let me tell you, we think we can't change things. You know, the entrance examination conducted for medical and engineering by CBSE, the results used to come after 3 months. When I went to Kerala, the Kerala results of medical engineering results used to come after 2.5 months. And then, of course, somebody would go to the High Court and file a writ saying these 50 questions are wrong. And High Court would say, okay, delete those questions, do a re-ranking. Now, whoever was in the list is out, whoever is out is in. It's a sleepless night for parents and children for 6 months. I went to that office and I had only 24 people. And I said, look here, people believe you are the worst office in the world. Do you think so? They said, yes, sir, we believe so. So after the first week, I said, let's make this office the best office in Trivandrum. That is where the office is, Kerala's capital. After 2 weeks, I said, let's make this office the best office in Kerala. They said, fine. After 3 weeks, I said, let's make this office the best office in India. After the 4th week, I said, let's make this office the best office in the whole world. You know what happened? We declared the results, the same people, the same computers. We declared the results on the 7th day after the examination. In fact, the postgraduate PG admission to medicine, we declared the results on the 3rd day. You know, the super specialty examination, what do you call it? MD? No, not MD. What is the degree after MD? That examination, we declared on the same day of the evening of the examination, we declared. Is it possible? Same people? Yes. What difference did I bring into that office? Only one thing. I brought a dream to that office. I shared my dream with the other people and we made them realize, yes, we can do it. And mind you, after the results came, there were 6 editorials which said the entrance commissioner's office gets a first rank. Is it possible? Of course it's possible. Then I quit IAS when everybody said, sorry, you will never win. I was an independent candidate. On the 32nd day after resigning from the IAS, I got elected as an independent MLA in Kerala. I completely changed the definition of an MLA. What does an MLA generally do? Attend marriages, attend funerals. I said, I'm not available for this. I lived in a small, tiny little room as big as a toilet, drove my own vehicle, my Scorpio, went to the panchayats every day, along with the panchayat presidents and members, met people, found out what they want, and I got 350 crores into my constituency, and I won the Best MLA award. Is it possible? Then I quit and joined Modi ji, BJP, and said, I want Modi to be the Prime Minister because he has determination. He wants to bring change to the country. He wants to make this into a country about which we can all be proud of. And I joined him. I worked in the party for 6 years, and in 2017, I became a minister. And I completely changed again the definition of being a minister. I met everybody who has a stake in tourism, traveled around the country, traveled around the world, selling India because we have such an incredible wealth, you know, which the whole world need to see. But the fundamental of that belief is Vasudhaiva Kudumbakam. What is Vasudhaiva Kudumbakam? That is the foundation of India, of Indian philosophy. What is this Vasudhaiva Kudumbakam? That the whole world is one. That you and I, beyond that, not only we human beings, but every creation on the face of the earth, beyond that, every animate, the rivers, the trees, the forests, the wildlife, and the lifeless stones out there, it's all part of me. This is Vasudhaiva Kudumbakam. If you do that, why is it that we are destroying the universe? Why? You know, every time you buy a fresh jeans, you know, you're destroying the world. You know how much water is required to make a jeans? 5,000 liters. How many pairs of jeans you have? Have exactly 2 pairs of jeans, and they're all at least 25 years old. You know, the jacket, the blue jacket which I use, I'm not using it today, which I generally use. I bought it when I was an IAS probationer in 1979 Masuri Academy. It's still in great shape. Still in great shape. I have exactly 1 pair of shoes which will last me 7 years. When it develops holes, I'll change it. But it's beautifully maintained. I polish it every day. My dear kids, please don't change your life into a fashion show. Because you are trying to change this. Your neighbor will try harder. He will buy better things than you, and he will put it on Instagram, and you will feel horrible. He will have a nice angles. He will go to the nicest shopping malls, buy the fanciest cars, post a picture before you. You will feel ashamed. Now, my final words. Who's supposed to be your best friends? To me, my parents were my best friends. And my second best friends were the teachers. Today, who is your biggest enemy? Number one, your parents. And who is the second biggest enemy? Your teacher. Both these categories of people telling you are useless. Both these categories of people telling you, why can't you be like your neighbor's child? Look at that boy in the neighborhood, he's now rank number 1. Look at him, he's so disciplined. You are useless. I'm sorry, my dear parent. Your child, each of you, let me tell you, is the best thing that has happened to the world. Just believe in you. A lot of people tell you are useless. You don't look good. Do I look good? I was president of the Masuri IAS Academy, okay? I was possibly the ugliest person in the Masuri Academy, and I became president of IAS Academy. I was on Time Magazine's cover. When Times of India did a poll on me when I was commissioner DD, I had 89.6% of DD supporting me. This so-called Madrasi, whom you North Indians call a Madrasi, I had more popularity than anybody ever in the history of Delhi. So my dear kids, believe in yourself. You are the best thing that's happened in the history of the world, not your neighbor. Not your neighbor. And my dear parents, if some of the parents are listening, please, your child is the most precious gift. My son, when I came to Delhi, he was in class 3. My younger son, elder son was in class 5. My son was chucked out of Don Bosco, both my sons, because they said my sons are useless. I put them in another school, Bluebells. And exactly 3 years later, this 8-year-old became the youngest taxpayer in India selling paintings. And he had a global exhibition when he was 13, Delhi, London, New York, Washington. At 23, he was the director of the Harlem School of Arts, one of the oldest institutions in the world at 23. At 25, he quit. He said, what am I doing at 23 as director? What am I doing? He set up a NGO called Project Art, which runs 45 schools to teach underprivileged children art in the US. And please Google him after this. His name is Adarsh Alphons. He's in the list of 50 biggest philanthropists in the world, along with Bill Gates. A kid, he was thrown out of a school when he was in class 3. Okay? His wife is a commercial director of Time Magazine, pure American, white. They don't have a car. They don't have a house. And my son exactly has 1 pair of shoes. He's in the list of 50 biggest philanthropists of the world. My elder son is a tech guy. Was the chief of a tech company in UK before the pandemic came, but now everything is closed down. His wife is a genetic scientist. My dear kids, please, you are precious. My dear parent, tell your child you are precious. Please, every day, sit down for dinner with your children. When President Kennedy became president, he was asked, how come you became president at 43? You know what he said? My presidency was created around the dining table in my house. There was a rule in the Kennedy family with 12 children. We'll have dinner at 7 o'clock and we will talk about international issues and national issues. And every child has to speak. If you want to have food, it's your choice, but otherwise you have to speak. He said, my presidency was created. How many of you have dinner with your children? How many of you talk beyond money to your children? All of you want your children to be doctors, engineers, MBS, chartered accountants. You know why? Because that's where the big money is. Sorry, talk about you changing the world. My dear kid, you are the one to change the world. Tell your kid, okay? Tell your kid. He should become your best friend. He should become your best friend. Today, what you do, because your mobiles are available, social media is there, you want to get rid of the kid, you want to watch your television program, or you want to be on your laptop, so you have given the latest gadget to your child. He disappears the moment he comes from school, doesn't even say hello to the father or the mother. He's in his room. And mind you, what does this kid do? It's not my finding. India Today finding shows that 75% of the time is used on the net to watch pornography. And the rest 25%, I'm sure, is used for posting pictures on Instagram and on your Facebook and for your messaging your boyfriend or your girlfriend. Sorry, kids. This is not life. You will all grow up. You'll all get married. You'll all have children. You will gray, and you will die. What's the difference between you and the dog on the street? What's the difference? I'm sorry, I'm talking about dogs because I have adopted 11 pets from the street. My house is full of animals, 7 dogs and 2 cats. Come on, if I am responsible for preservation of the universe, what am I doing with them? Don't I have a responsibility to ensure that they are happy? My dogs are the happiest. They're all picked up from the street. And they're the happiest dogs in the world. I'm happy. I play with them every day. And mind you, now in my bungalow in Delhi, it's a government bungalow, not mine, we feed more than 300 birds a day. About 200 eagles, about 25 species, from sparrows to crows to parrots to everything else we feed, because we are responsible for looking after the universe. Yes or no? But what has man done? We are the cruelest creature on the face of the earth. We've killed them. We have destroyed them. We've destroyed the universe. Take responsibility. So, my dear parents, your child is the best. Number 12, my dear teacher, this is a huge problem. What are you teaching today? Mayank, I don't mean your university. I'm talking about at large India. What are you teaching? Some stupid theory written by some stupid person somewhere. How many of our children are able to think? 80 to 90% of engineering graduates in this country are not eligible to get a job. I think equal number or more numbers of percentage of people in this country graduates are not eligible to find a job because you learn a few theories. You know nothing about life. You know nothing about practicality. You know what's the problem? Teacher is also a parent. So you are bringing the same baggage which you have at home, telling the child, hey, you are useless, you are a brilliant kid, or you are a useless kid, you are average, you are intelligent. You see, you do the gradation at home. So parent does. When you come to the school, you do the same thing. You apply to a good school in Delhi, 1,000 people apply, 50 people are picked up. There is a interview for admission at 2.5. So there are now coaching centers across the country for coaching at 2.5. What do they teach? London Bridge falling, blah, blah, black sheep. What is the difference between a drumstick and a drum at 2.5? And you have the interview for 1,000 children, you reject 950 and pick up 50 children and say, oh, you are brilliant. You are a rank holder. And what happens to the 950 children? They are told you are useless. And the parent will say, look here, you couldn't even get through the entrance examination. You are useless. The same child comes to the school and you do the same thing. You say, this kid is brilliant. This kid is hugely talented. Every program in the university, college, same kid will be coming up on the stage and being the MC, being the moderator. And the other kid sits at the back. I'm useless. In the class, same thing. Okay, so now you have the answer because you are the brilliant one. This kid is dumb. You don't exactly say that. Sorry, my dear teacher. Every kid is created as a genius by God. Love them. Just love them. Pick them up and say, my dear kid, you are so special to me and to everybody else. Change these attitudes and teach them, please. All these formula which you're teaching is useless. Talk to them about the world. Talk to them about the forest and the trees and about the wildlife. Yeah, I had 4 or 5 birds falling here. Every one of these birds is picked up and we take them to the bird hospital. It costs money. It costs effort to do that. Why can't I keep saying, why can't you keep a small pot of water outside your balcony so the birds can at least come and drink water? Can't you keep a grain full of wheat or rice outside your balcony so the birds can come and eat? Can't you? Does it make a great effort? I'll just conclude. During this lockdown, I'm at home. You know what we did? I don't think greatly about social media. I just post a few things once in a while because we politicians are expected to do. I don't even look at the response. I don't care. I don't live my life with somebody's approval. I live life with my own rules. I don't need somebody else to like me and say that, Alphons, Mr. Alphons, we like what you're doing. To hell with you, man. I don't care. I lead my life the way I want, not for likes. Okay? Not for likes. So let's get down to doing things. Let's believe, yes, I am about to change things. I will change rules. I'm going to think for myself. That means set apart time to think. Set apart time to discuss with your parents. Time for teachers to sit with the students and talk about life. more than what is in the theorems or in the textbooks and say, this is what life is about? Can't we at least spend 10 minutes every day in the classroom discussing about national issues, about international issues? Don't we have time? No, we are too busy with our syllabus. What syllabus? Rubbish. Sorry, I think a lot different. This is why, that's why I'm me. That's why I said I don't follow rules. So Mayank, congratulations for running this great university. Now, I think your university can be the best in the world. If your kids, your teachers, we are all willing to believe, yes, each of us is so special. I can be Meerut and I can be better than the Harvard. If we believe that, that's the big difference that's going to make, where every kid is going to the classroom and say, yes, my dear parents, my dear teacher, I am going to make a difference, and you please help me to do that. Please help me to do that. Yeah. So thanks a lot. I think it was a great experience. Now, please ask me questions.
Okay, Alphons, thank you for your inspiring and motivational words. So it was amazing and an electrifying one that I noticed. And we appreciate your courage and the determination and the firm decision to do the things that whatever you are thinking, that is right. And of course, that we have noticed your great career as an IAS officer, as a politician. And I know that at present, you are a great social servant under the banner of DMC, that is Distress Management Collective. So there is one question, Alphons ji. I have noticed that you are a member of the committee constituted by Government of India to prepare the final draft of National Education Policy. So what is your opinion? Do we need to change the educational system here, or is there any new idea that you can share with us to change the educational system of India?
I was a member of this committee, a very distinguished committee, with even, with even people like members of who have done the prize, the Nobel Prize in Mathematics. He was a member of the committee. So when I became a minister, unfortunately, I had to resign from the committee. So I was not a member of the committee when the final report was submitted. But it's very simple. I think whatever I said in my little interaction, I mean, speech just now, or not a speech, my kind of loud thinking, I think if we can have these things incorporated into our syllabus, that would make a big difference. It is not just about theorems and learning by heart. The other day, I met this girl who was the topper of 12th examinations in Kerala. This is when I was the Principal Secretary of Higher Education. I organized a huge function in Trivandrum to honor her. Chief Minister was there. All the newspapers had her picture saying the most brilliant girl in Kerala. And mind you, Keralites are bright people, very brilliant people. And when the function was over, I asked this girl a very simple question. After the function was over, personal. I said, my dear child, you are a genius. What is it that you want to do with your life? What do you want to do with your life? This girl thought for quite some time, and she told me, I will go home, I will ask my mother, and then I will tell you. Now you tell me, Professor James, Dr. James, is this kid the most brilliant genius on the face of the earth, or does she have a mental problem? You tell me. We have a whole lot of people getting 499 out of 500. Sorry, I don't want to use a very abusive word. I think they have a mental problem. What the teacher told you, you studied by heart without leaving a comma or a full stop, gone to tuition teacher, you reproduced it, and then everybody says you are a genius. Sorry. I have a very strong word for that, but I don't want to use it in this public forum. That's not what education is. It's about inventing. It's about being creative. What can I create today in this age of pandemic? The world is gone. We don't even know where you're going to be alive tomorrow. The whole business models are going to change. Everything is going to change. Create, sit down at home instead of being on this stupid TikTok and this thing, that thing, play stupid games which lead you to frustration. Come on, sit down, think, talk to your friends. Have a group of friends who are just 2 or 3 people, not beyond that. If you want to discuss ideas, never have more than 2 or 3 friends. Sit down together, bounce ideas. How are we going to create things to make the world better, my neighborhood better? Are we willing to do that? Yeah. And according to me, all examinations should be, right from school to the college, should be open book. And you should get 0 for reproducing what is in the book. You must set questions. Come on, teachers, get down to working. Try to see how this knowledge in real life can be made applicable. Ask those questions. And no child is going to get 499 out of 500. Sorry, no. People getting 100 marks in Malayalam literature, English literature, in Hindi literature. Why? Because you have not missed out a comma or a full stop. How can anybody get 100%? I can understand somebody getting 100% in physics or in mathematics, not even in physics. Even there, ask questions which are not textbookish. Yeah. Test their real life knowledge, their preparedness to change the society.
Thank you, Alphons. There is one more question. As a district collector in Kottayam, so what are the steps that you have taken to convert Kottayam to become the 100% literate city in the country?
So when this idea came, actually the idea came from, great thing, it came from the students of the Mahatma Gandhi University, the NSS. See, here again, our NSS, our NCC, you try to do a little bit and then you get a picture into the newspaper once a year, once a month. People are satisfied with that. Our NSS unit is working. No. This is where children want to, they can make a dramatic difference. The other day I was watching a video of a 6-year-old child. He visits all the old age homes in his city once a week. That means every day he goes to an old age home. He's only 6. What does he carry? Nothing. He carries a bunch of roses, gives to all of them a rose each, doesn't say anything. He just hugs them. A 6-year-old child, can you imagine? That kid is a great human being. He's a leader and he's going to be a potential leader. And people like him should become prime ministers and ministers and members of parliament. I have this kid who is in Kerala. When he was in class 10, comes from a poor family. He came to one of my speeches in an engineering college. I said, why are you here? Because this is for engineering students. He said, no, I want to hear you. I've heard about you. And today he runs one of the very nice NGOs in his place. He started a library, like Dr. James has started a library. He started a library which is one of the biggest in the village. He teaches, coaches children, motivates children, helps out a whole lot of people, reaches food, medicines. His name is Ajmal. Why not? Let's take grown-ups. My batchmate Gauri, who lives in Noida in an apartment. She was an IAS officer. Now she lives in a complex which has got 1,000 flats. You know what you do? Both lunchtime and evening time, along with the chapatis which they make, they have to make another 4 chapatis extra. Fold it into a silver foil. And then my friend Gauri, she collects it from all these 1,000 apartments. It's handed over to the Noida authority. It goes to feed the poor people. Is it difficult to make 3-4 chapatis extra? Are we so poor? Can't we do it? So please don't expect anybody else to do anything else. So this is what we did in Kottayam. We said, let's just do this, make it into a world model. And mind you, Kottayam achieved a quality of health index better than the United States of America in 1990. Maternal mortality rate, infant mortality rate, all these were better than the US. How did we do it? We got our people to work in collaboration with people. This is what is motivating, isn't it? Yeah. Family planning. Mind you, Kottayam is a citadel of Christianity. And Christians, especially I'm a Catholic, we are not supposed to practice family planning. But for 4 years, when I was a collector, I won the award for the best collector for promoting family planning. Every family is covered by family planning, even though they are Christians. Why? Because we sold the idea to them that this is good for you, it's good for the country. So can you do it? Yes, it's possible. So this is what I'm saying. Please don't say this is what is possible, this is not what is possible. I don't follow rules. I don't break a law, criminal law, okay? I'm saying What is rules set by the society? I don't follow them. Come on, experiment, change, but change for something good. You don't break rules for your advantage, please. Okay? No. Like I'll jump the queue because Mr. Alphons said you break the rules. Sorry, no. I never, even as a district collector, when I went to a movie, I stood in the queue, I paid my money, bought the ticket. No. You break a rule so that you can make a difference to society. That's what I'm saying when I'm talking about breaking the social conventions. So we've done so many of these things in Kottayam. I wish, read my book. It's free on my website. Free download on my website, the English version, and read it.
Okay, Alphons, see, you're a district collector, the commissioner for higher education, the commissioner of DDA, Delhi Development Authority, an MLA, a union minister, an MP, and also you're into the social service. So which is the best thing that, in your opinion, that you enjoyed the most? Because you change your career from this to that. And that also unimaginable things, we can say. Within short time, you reached up to the top level as an MLA or MP or the minister or whatever it is. So which period was the best, in your opinion, that you enjoyed the most?
Which is the period which I've enjoyed the most, where I think I've done a job better than even being a minister, past 4 months during the lockdown period. I told you we formed a WhatsApp group called Distress Management Collective. Dr. James is also a member of that. Morning till evening, we are on telephone, not watching TikTok or some stupid game or, messaging boyfriends and girlfriends. Do all that. Yeah, I have no problem. Have a girlfriend, I have a boyfriend. I have no objection at all. But that is not your 24-hour job. Okay, give your girlfriend and boyfriend also a time and say, this is the time for you. We are on telephone from morning till night, helping people to get food. You know how many people we have reached food? More than 2 million people. More than 2 million people we have reached food. We've reached medicine. We provided transport. We lobbied with the government to introduce new economic policies. We lobbied with the government to bring our workers who are stuck abroad. We lobbied to have chartered flights. I mean, all this is, Modi government has been very responsive. They know what to do in the interest of the people. We are here to help every moment. There's not one telephone call which I don't answer. Even as a minister, let me tell you, some of us feel we are too big to take calls. Even as a minister, I took every telephone call. I replied to every message. Can't we do it? Of course we can do it. Yeah. 24 hours is plenty of time. Don't feel that I'm too important to talk to people. I talk to everybody who calls. I take their message. I do their work. And then I give them a response and say, this has been done. So the best part of my life, the most useful part of my life has been the past 4 months during the lockdown, when sitting at home, I could help out millions of people. My dear kids, what have you done? Tell me. How many human beings have you fed? Have you checked up whether your neighbor is hungry? Have you done? I have 8 families living in my compound. None of them have jobs. Their relatives, I'm supporting 40 families on a regular basis every day, providing food, education, all medical care, including operations, including their father-in-laws, including their parents in the villages, their sister-in-laws, everybody. Am I a rich man? No, I'm not. I'm not a rich man. I'm well off. I'm a rich man. Is it possible? You have such a network of people on your WhatsApp. Come on, please. Change things the way you think. Lockdown, it's so boring. It's so exciting. It's a wonderful time to reach out to people to help. Not only human beings, animals, anywhere in the world. Let me tell you, I just conclude with one thing. There was this person in Mizoram. We are helping people all across the country who he had a kidney transplant, wanted medicine. It was running out and Mizoram was under lockdown. Medicine was available only in Assam, but no vehicle was allowed to go. I talked to the DGP of the state. This is where you use your influence. I talked to the DGP. He sent a vehicle to Guwahati, 40 hours drive up and down, brought the medicine, gave to this person before the 10th. Is it possible? When migrant workers were not getting food, I spoke to the DM, didn't work. Spoke to the divisional commissioner, didn't work. Do I give up? No. I spoke to the chief minister. In 10 minutes, he directed the district collector provide food to the migrant laborers on Delhi-Faridabad road. Is it possible? Of course it's possible. On your telephone, you can work miracles, my dear kids.
Thank you, Alphons ji. MD sir, is there any question or comments from your side?
Today, I really feel proud to be associated with Alphons ji, and I would request Alphons ji to, once this Corona thing gets over, to come to our institute, guide our students physically, and motivate them. It was really wonderful to having with you here with online session, and I hope the students are really blessed today. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Mayank. Thank you. I hope the students carry home something. You know, I hope tonight they get sleepless night. I hope so. Yes. Yes.
It was really
one thing I must say that this was one of the best, one of the most inspirational speech we had in this program, and one who listened to it once must listen to it again and again. And it would be like a video document. So for us.
So put it on YouTube.
Yes,
and
yes,
then maybe yes. Yeah.
It is recorded as now, and it will be put it on the Facebook. So it will be like a video document.
Not Facebook. I said YouTube. Put it on YouTube so that more people can watch. Yeah.
That's in both Facebook and YouTube both. Yeah. So it was really an our honor. Yeah.
Send me a link also, please, so I can also put it on my Facebook.
Yeah, sure. Sure. Yeah.
So thank you, Alphons ji, for being a part of this program. And it was really an inspirational one to each and every one, for the students, the faculty members, and whoever viewed this program. And thank you once again. Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you.